This tutorial is on how to fit the rear bearing on a Hotpoint TDL30 tumble dryer, but it will also cover some other Hotpoint, Creeder, Indesit and Arista models as well. This is the second of a two-part video. The first part was on how to remove the bearing. You'll need a pop rivet gun to complete the fitting of the bearing housing and a size 25 Torx bit for the self-tapping screws. The plate that holds the bearing shaft onto the drum has 6 holes, but only 3 of these are for screws and they're not threaded, so it would be wise to cut the thread with a screw before fitting. It will make life a little bit easier. The first screw is always the awkward one, but the other 2 should fit easily enough. If you put a screw in one of the holes first and hold it there with a screwdriver, then fit the plate on the other end of it, it will do up without any bother. All the parts used in this and our other videos are available online at our website at apartforyou.co.uk. Just enter your model number in the search bar and all the available parts will be displayed. Depending on the type of rivet gun you have, getting the first rivet started can also be a chore. But as with the screws, the second one is a bit easier. It's not always necessary to replace the housing, so if yours is not damaged, leave it. The new bearing block sits inside the housing, and it fits in easier than the old one came out. Refitting the drum is straightforward. Just make sure the inside of the cabinet is clean and fluff free. Although it's large, the drum weighs very little, so you shouldn't have any trouble locating it in the bearing. Unfortunately, fitting the drum can push the new bearing block out, so you need to hold it in place while you fit the washer, collar and pin. It's not always necessary to fit the washer, so you'll need to read the instructions that came in the kit. When the pin's in place, bend the protruding part the opposite way to the other end of it. This way the pin won't twist when the drum turns. And make sure it's squeezed in tight so that it doesn't rub on the earth strip. The next part to go on is the copper earth strip. Although it won't stop the machine from working if it's not fitted, it does prevent the build-up of static electricity inside the drum during a normal drying cycle. So make sure it's touching the end of the shaft when fitted. Also be careful not to over tighten the screws or it could strip the thread. If you're not sure about a part or a procedure, contact us on this number or via our website and we'll try to assist you in whatever way we can. Now all the bearing components have been installed, you can refit the cover and then we'll go around the front of the machine. Be careful when you lift the panel over the side that you don't scratch the paintwork or pull on any of the wires. You should find that part of it fits into the side panels and this will hold it still while you fit the screws. Look at the screws before fitting them, because the front ones are normally slightly thicker than the ones on top, and whilst the larger screw will cut its way into the smaller hole, the thinner screw won't fit tightly in the larger hole. So make sure you get the right screw for the right hole. When the panel's been fitted, remember to feed the wire loom into the clasp on the base of the cabinet so as to keep it out of the way when the drum turns. I'm tilting the machine backwards so you can see the belt fitting process a bit clearer. If you put a screwdriver between the drum and the belt, then hook the end under the motor shaft, this will allow you to lever the belt down and slide it onto the shaft relatively easily. When the belt's on the motor pulley, withdraw the screwdriver and turn the drum, just to make sure it's fitted okay. There should be a mark left on the drum from when it was previously fitted, so line the belt up on that mark. Connect up the two exhaust thermostat wires and fit the panel onto the lower front section of the cabinet. The switch has a lip on the front that locates into the front panel, and this must be fitted correctly or the door won't shut and the machine won't work. When it is in place, it will protrude through the opening. Now fit the screws. You'll have to hold the back of the switch, at least while you put the first screw in. Fit the panel and lift the drum slightly to allow the section with the felt bearing on to rest inside. Remember to tie the wires up to the inside of the panel and double check that none have got caught between it and the drum. When you're satisfied that no wires are caught and the belt is in the right place, you can fit the screws on the top of the panel. Once again, I've tilted the machine backwards, but that's just for filming. You wouldn't need to do this. On this model there are two ledges that stick out from the lower cabinet section at the front, and the panel rests on these. If it's not on both of them, then some of the holes on the bottom of the panel won't line up, so make sure they all do before fitting any screws. The kick strip just pushes on. Refitting the option switch wires is straightforward, even if you have more than one switch, providing you labelled which ones fitted on each switch when you took them off. This edge on the fascia panel locates in these hooks on the cabinet, so hook the panel on and screw it in place. But be careful when replacing these screws, because if you drop one, you'll have a job retrieving it from inside the cabinet. This is a perfect job for a magnetic screwdriver if you have one. The control knob only fits one way, so be sure the flat part is lined up with the shaft before pushing it on. Refit the top and screw it down. Just one job left to refit the vent pipe. Remove the collar and slide the tube into the machine. You'll probably have to put your arm inside the tube to get it to fit properly on the exhaust section on the front panel. When it's fitted onto the lip correctly, the outside edge at the back of the machine will fit flush with the cabinet. I've tilted the tumble dryer forward so you can see what's happening, but you wouldn't need to do this. When you put your arm through the tube, you can feel the lip on the exhaust manifold on the front panel. This makes it easier to fit. Replace the collar and fit the screws. We hope this video was useful to you, and remember to shop online at partforyou.co.uk, because this is how we're able to finance making these videos. Thanks for watching.